So just to recap on today's lesson, basically what we did was we started on using Onshape and we began to create this one here, the stationary unit. So if I double click into this one, what I'll show you is the overall product, which is this. Now I'm using a mouse, so it's super easy for me to rotate it and look at it in different angles. But we started to create this part here that I've highlighted in orange. So obviously we only have to make one of them. It's the exact same as this part here. And this is just showing you how to use like a 3D modeling tool as opposed to a 2D modeling. So 3D, you can see, is Onshape, this one up here. And the 2D that we've used is Adobe Illustrator. And you've all used that on your previous project. But this is pretty much the same thing, except you're going from 2D into 3D. So whatever sketch you make, you can create into an object. So just a couple of things I want to show you before we actually get started are this box up here, okay? When you're using the trackpad, often what can happen is your piece might disappear like that, okay? And then it's very hard to get it back and you don't know where it is. So all you have to do is just look at this here. This here is basically, imagine as if that project is stuck inside in this box, okay? If you want to look from the back, you press this. If you want to look from the right, you press the right. If you want to look from the top, you press the top. Very simple. So, just say for instance, I don't know where it's gone. It's after being pushed out of my view. All I'm going to do is press right because I want to look at the right hand side of it. So if I press right, there we go. It's after bringing it back in. Very simple. And it's always the case. Again, if I put it back here, out there, it's out of the way. I want to look at these dots here in the corners will always give me like an isometric view. So just say I'm going to press here and there we go. It brings it always brings it back right into the center, which makes it super easy then to work with. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to work on this piece here. Now most of the people who are in have a lot of it done, but I found that it was a small bit slow inside in class, just obviously getting used to the new program and stuff like that. So the plan is that after each lesson I'm going to upload a video like this, okay? So that like if you don't get it fully completed inside the lesson, what you can do is you can complete it at home by literally just following a tutorial video. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new document. So what I'll do is I'll go to Create and go to Document. I'm going to call this one Mark Grade 9. Because all of my pieces are going to be inside there. Once you press OK, it'll load the workspace, and this is what you'll be presented with. So you've got loads of different commands up along the top, which we'll go through at another stage. You have your box over here for orientation, and you have 1, 2, 3 planes here, and these are planes of reference. So basically, this here, this dot, is where all of those planes meet. So you can see that's essentially this part here. You see the X, the Y, and the Z. They're all meeting at one point. That's that point. I can start drawing from whichever one I want. It makes no difference really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the right hand side because I actually want to create a piece that's on the right hand side of my object. So when I click on this here, it's going to highlight in orange. Now that doesn't really mean anything. That just means I've selected it. I can't sketch, I can't do anything until I actually press on sketch. So if I press on it first and highlight it and then press sketch, it's going to automatically allow me to work on the right plane. If I X out of that, if I just press sketch first, it doesn't know where it's sketching. So then just the opposite, I need to press on the right plane. And you can see here, sketch 1 is showing that I'm sketching on the right plane. Because you can see it's following the same path. If I wanted to do it on the front plane, go for a sketch, whatever, I can just go into sketch, press front plane. Same with the top plane. So here, I can start sketching straight away. Very simple, I can start sketching like this. But the only problem is that I'm not looking directly at it. And that makes it that small bit more difficult. So again, up here, I'm going to press right. There we go. I'm looking perpendicular to it. Makes it really easy to create it. So now that we've press sketch and we're in an open sketch now, we've got all of these commands up here. Now before we ever draw anything, we're never going to use these two. These first two here, this one is extrude, this one is revolve. These are actually to create an object out of the sketch that you've drawn. You've got line tools, rectangular tools, center or corner. I always use corner. You've got a center point circle, then you've got a couple of different ones, and ellipses. You've got arcs, you've got things like hexagons. You've got these splines here, which are going to allow you to put a curve on it. But all of these, for the moment, as we're only learning this program, we won't need to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle. In this, it's super easy to dimension anything. So what we're going to do is, what I always do is I just draw it randomly. But you'll always start from the center point here. Never draw out like this, because you can see all of it is in blue, which means that it's undefined. It doesn't know what size it is. Even when you put dimensions on it, it doesn't know where it is. So it needs to have a reference to that center point. So I'll delete that one. I'm going to start again. When I hover over the center point, you can see there's an orange square around it, and it's an orange circle. All I need to do is press once. I don't need to hold on. I can hold on to the mouse if I want to, but I can just press once and I can make this any size I want. Again, as I said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to create dimensions for it in a second. When I'm ready, I'm going to press again. And then what you can see is, because this line and this line have a relationship with the origin or the center point, they're both black. As I said, when they're blue, they're not too sure what size they are or where they are. So in my one, I have my dimensions over here to the right. Yours will probably be the same, or it might be like somewhere around here. But this is just the icon you need to look for. And if you can't find it, I'm sure there's a search bar. Oh, sorry, it's right there. There's a search. So if I went to dimension, there you go. You can find it straight away. So anything that you can't find is really, really simple to find. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to make this the size that is required. And that size is, so all I do is I press the line that I need to dimension. I move my mouse down here, press again. I'm going to make it 150 millimeters wide, and you need to make sure that it's in millimeters. See the mm just at the end of that there? If it's not in millimeters, I can show you how to change it. You need to go up through here and into preferences and change it from inches to millimeters. But that should be done. I have it in the instructions on the Google Classroom and when you're creating your login. So I'm going to press enter. That's 150. It's after moving out of the screen, so I can't see it. I'm going to press right. It brings it back into the screen. I'm still in dimension because you can see here it's blue. I'm going to press here, drag it out, and I'm going to make it 300 millimeters high. Again, it's gone out of the screen. I'm going to press right, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to press OK. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stay in that sketch. I want to put a curve on the front of it, just to give it a nice bit of an aesthetic finish. So this one here is called Sketch Fillet. Fillet always rounds things. All I have to do, I've got two options. I can select this line and it'll work in between it, or what I can do is just select the corner. So it's coming up as radius 5. If you want, you can drag it, but you'll never be that accurate when you drag it. So just press enter. It's going to give you an option of what you want it to be, and I'm going to put that as 80 millimeters and enter. Now everything here is completely black, which means it's fully defined, which means it's good to go. I can now turn it into an object. So I've clicked the green tick. I'm happy with it. I've got two options. I can click the green tick and go in the opposite way, or I can just press on extrude. So I'll go green tick. Here we have extrude, which is the box with the other box coming out of it. I'm going to press that. It's going to be a solid object. It's new or add, they're both the same. It's depth. Remember, we're using MDF. I'm going to change it to 4. But I can't select the tick because I haven't selected what shape I want to extrude. So if I come over here and just press on it, faces and sketch region to extrude, face of sketch 1. That's it. Press OK. There we go. It's an object. Now what I want to do is I want to create a joint here and a joint on the bottom. So again, I'm going to go to sketch, but it doesn't know where I want to sketch. I want to sketch on this face, so I just press on the face. Very simple. Corner rectangle, I'm going to make sure that I'm hovering over this line here because it's going to be a joint, so it's basically like I'm going to cut that away. And again, I can make it as big as I want. Okay, that's the general area that it's going. Now, select dimension, because all my material is 4mm, that means my joints need to be 4mm. There we go. And my overall height is 100 or 300. So I'm going to just make it a third of it. I'm going to make it 100mm high. So if I press right, you always have to make sure that this goes to the right place. So obviously my joint isn't supposed to be that high, and I know that it's not ready because I've got 4 blue dots. The only thing that it does know is that it's 100mm high and it's 4mm wide, but it doesn't know where it is. So if I zoom in and I press on this line, come out and press on the bottom line, so I'm getting a distance between the bottom of the joint and the bottom of the whole piece. I'm going to press. As I said, I want to make it 1/3 of it. It's 300 high overall. The joint is 100 high, which means I can put 100 above it and 100 below it. So I'm going to press OK, and now everything is fully black. It's fully defined. Very, very simple. Now I'm going to go to extrude again, but the difference is I'm not adding on this time. So if I went to add, you can see that's the preview of how it would look. But what I want to do is I want to remove. So you see new, add, and remove. I'm going to press remove. And because it's only 4mm and the depth here is 25, I'm just going to press OK. So that's been removed. I'm going to click on right. There we go. That's where the back piece is going to fit in nicely. As well, for the bottom is 150, right? So in general, I would do both of those in the one sketch and cut them both out at the same time. But to make it simple, I'm going to open them both up, or sorry, do them both separately. So I'm sketching on this face. I'm going to go rectangle. I need a joint at the bottom, so I'm going to do a big rectangle here. I'm going to use dimension. My joints are always going to be 4mm because that's the material I'm using. 4mm. I'm going to make it 50mm because it's easy. Again, it's 1/3 of the overall width of it. And even though it looks like it's in the right place, it's not. So it's 50 wide and 4 high, but it doesn't know where it is. So I'm going to select here, and I'm going to select the outside, and I'm going to make that 50 also. Now that that's in place, again, I'm going to repeat the step, extrude, remove, OK. You can see it's loading, and now it's gone. So I'm going to press right. There we go. The bottom piece is gone, and the back piece is gone. So my back piece is going to sit nicely inside here, and my base piece is going to sit nicely in here. So this is what we want to have completed for the next class.